Happy New Year, everyone! How we all doing? Are we ready for the first video of the new year? I hope we are. And for those of you returning for another one of my videos, I want to say thank you. And for those of you who are first timers, I'd like to say welcome. This is Skelly by Nature. I am Skelly. And today's video, we're going to be doing a little video on how to make natural soap. And so let's get down to why natural soap. There's many good benefits of making your own soap, as well as it's just an overall fun activity. Whether you're a single guy like me, just kicking around, whether you've got a family with kids. And this is a nice, safe way that I'm going to show you today of how to do a natural soap, and it's really simple. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the benefits of it. The one thing that's nice about making your own soap compared to buying store-bought soap is, for the most part, there's no harsh chemicals. Store-bought soap has many harmful chemicals. We use this soap. The soap runs into our drain. And then that passes on, and the other nice thing is there's no toxic runoff into our waterways. So that's the main benefits of using natural soap. The other nice thing too about natural soap is, in the long run, it actually is cheaper, and a lot of people put the numbers together and they say, oh, well, it's not that much cheaper. Here's where it is cheaper. Yes, the cost of making the soap might cost you a little bit more than, say, if you take just the price of store-bought soap. But here's where it's beneficial and where it could be cheaper in the long run. Now, most people, especially women, we take a shower, we take a bath, and then we get out and we moisturize. So if you want to know the true cost, your cost at the store is buying the soap and buying the moisturizer. I'm just going to be using a soap. The other nice thing we have the advantage of with natural soap is we can make adjustments as well, or play with it as you do it more and more, by adding either shea butter or using other bases. And adding oils, and the nice thing too as well is you can do your own essential oils, so you can make it smell the way you want to make it smell. So it opens you up to a lot of different variables as far as decisions to make. So there's many different essential oils that you can add. So you can't go to the store and buy too many different kinds with the different essential oils. So that's the other nice thing about it. You can make it whatever color you want. You can make it whatever base you want. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you today, I'm going to be doing a glycerin-based soap, as well as it's also going to have a little bit of cocoa butter in it. And so I'll explain why I'm using this mixture, and then I'm going to be using a little bit of palm oil as well. And I'll explain each piece and why I use each piece. So the advantage, or what we're going to need today is, obviously you're going to want to go to any of your arts and crafts store. Many of your arts and crafts store will have little kits that are very similar to this. Like I said, this is a white glycerin kit. As you can see, the glycerin's white. They have clear glycerin, they have colored glycerins, they have different other bases as well. And so you can make your decision on what you want, and you can, like I said, buy a couple, try them different. They all have, different benefits as well. So that's one thing you're going to need. The other thing that you're going to probably need at the store as well is some molds. I have here some molds that I just bought at the craft store down the street. They're only a few bucks. I've got a bottle of essential oil, and the other thing that you're going to need is a spray bottle with some rubbing alcohol. And those are the things that we're going to need, as well as I'm going to be doing this with a double boiler method. So I actually have two pots that I use strictly to make soap. And that's another thing, I just got some old pots. They're the ones that I don't use anymore. So that's what I like to use. So, and then a knife is another thing that we're going to need to cut up the blocks. So let's get right down to it. And I'll show you how I make my natural soap. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is what I like to start off with is first, I have a smaller pot, and I'm going to take my small pot and I'm just going to take the big pot and put it on top, and that's basically what I'm making for my double boiler. If you got a regular double boiler, that's fine. I'm doing a small batch today, so I'm not worried about it too much. If I was making a bigger batch, a lot of times I use like a wax craft, kind of similar to a coffee pot. That's another way of doing it. Or another way you can do it as well is when you cut up the cubes, you can actually melt them in a microwave. You're going to want to do start it off at 30 seconds and then do little increments until it's fully melted. So the first thing that I like to do is I get my pot ready. I'm just going to turn this on. And let the water just start to heat up. So when I turn this on, I go to a medium just to get the water starting to go. And then eventually when we get into this, we'll turn it down. So now I'm going to put my second pot on top. And while that's warming up, I'm going to be pulling out my pieces. Now today, I'm going to be doing about a pound's worth of my base. So if you want to make, and this is going to make a few bars, but if you're looking to make more, if you're going to be doing, family pack or something like that, then you can go ahead and just double the recipe or triple the recipe or whatever. So I'm going to be dealing with 1 pound. I'm going to be doing 3/4 of a pound with the glycerin. And then 1/4 of it is going to be cocoa butter, which I already have set and ready to go here. So I'm just going to cut into these cubes. And we just want to cut these up so they melt a little faster. I mean, if you want to be lazy, you can throw them in, but you're going to wait a little longer. So the nice thing about these presets is they do come already kind of the cubes ready to go, so you can just cut them up and throw them in your pot. The second part, like I said, that I'm using 3/4 of a pound of the white glycerin, and then what I'm going to be doing is a quarter pound of the cocoa butter. Now the reasons I like to use cocoa butter, we're going to pour that cocoa butter in. Now the nice thing about the cocoa butter is it actually helps hydrate our skin, nourishes our skin, gives it some vitamins and minerals, and it helps improve the elasticity of your skin. So it also as well helps hold in moisture. And also it has phytochemicals that improves blood flow to your skin, protects your skin from UV rays. It also helps smooth out any scars or wrinkles or stretch marks. The other nice thing about the cocoa butter is it's also very good if you have eczema or dermatitis. It helps heals rashes, so it helps in those skin issues that we might have, and so that's why I like using the cocoa butter. And then you'll see later on, I'm going to be adding in some palm oil as well. So the reason I like to use palm oil in my mixture is because it's resistant to oxidation, which allows your soap to sit around a little bit longer. So it's got a little longer shelf life. As well as palm oil actually is a great source of antioxidants, mainly being vitamin E. And if anyone knows, vitamin E as well helps, helps scars heal better, helps take out the wrinkles in the skin, and it helps moisturize the skin as well. So that's why I like using this combination, and that's what I like. So we're just gonna kind of patiently wait for this to heat up, and we're gonna wait for this to melt, and don't rush this procedure. If you go turning it up, we don't want anything to burn, so that's the one reason why we're be patient here. So we're gonna let that sit, and we're gonna let that melt, and move on to the next step. Okay, so right now my base is pretty much fully melted down. You're gonna see that the glycerin in the shea butter isn't. Cocoa butter isn't mixed together. So what I like to do at this time is like I said, it is pretty much melted down. I'm gonna shut my heat off. I'm going to take, and I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons um, of the palm oil. We're gonna let that melt down a little bit. That doesn't take much. And then while I'm doing that and letting that melt down, I've got my mold sitting right here. Now, what I like to do is I like to spray the liner of my molds with some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. The reason we do this is it helps eliminate the bubbles that if you don't do this, you're going to end up with bubbles. So we're going to do this in the very beginning and kind of do that to our molds, because that's the top. So what's on the bottom is going to be the top of our soap. Where a lot of times mine have a couple little designs on them. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple milliliters of essential oil. Now you're going to have to experiment with your essential oil. Some people like a stronger smell. Some of the different essential oils too also vary on the concentration levels. So you're gonna want to play with that a little bit to come to your own liking. And then we're gonna stir all of this right in. You go up, bud. Go ahead. So we're going to stir this all right in until it's all stirred in nicely, until it's all mixed. Now at this point too, if you want to add some color to it, I've got a nice creamy off-white color. So I'm not going to be adding any color to it, but if you want to add color to it, this is where you would add your color dye. So now what we're going to do is our next step is we're going to go pour these into the molds. So when you do this, make sure you put something down in case you make some spills. It's always a good idea. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, I've got my bars of soap with the 1 pound. I got roughly close to eight bars of soap. A little more than what I planned on, but that's okay. And then what we're going to do is, now that we've got it done, I tend to give it a little shake out, and then we're going to
spray again with some alcohol, and like I said, this is going to take the bubbles out. So this is another reason why I like to put something down. Okay, so for the last step now, what we're going to do is just let these sit and harden for a couple hours. And then what we'll do is I'll come back and finish and pop these out. And then they're ready to go. Okay, so it's been a few hours now, and the soap has all been hardened, as you can see. I have my 6 in here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to simply pop these out. And we should have a nice hard bar. Pretty simple, just push out the bottom. And as you can see, we have a nice, beautiful bar of soap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I hope you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, as well as share this video with anyone else that you think would be interested in this. And do me a favor as well, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. There's going to be more videos coming out, more natural products and things like that. And until the next video, be beautiful, be awesome.